Hi, this is Kristen Nicholson, Career Prep Facilitator for South Central Michigan Works. This presentation that you will be viewing is lifelong learning. With this presentation, you will need to complete a packet that goes along with this. You may obtain this packet from the front desk at the Service Center. Please ask for the lifelong learning packet, view the presentation, complete the packet, and hand in the completed packet to your career manager. The career you choose is likely to influence how you live the rest of your life and plays a major role in your lifestyle, from the clothes you wear, the interests and hobbies you pursue, and even the friends you meet. You want to take a deep look at yourself and think about why you want to work, what you want in a job, and what are your work-related values. This is what we're going to be doing during this segment. First, we're going to talk about work values and job satisfaction. Work values can be described as those things that we value at work. When thinking of what you value, some people have answered to make money, be able to earn a living, stability, job security, helping others and contributing to society, maintaining relationships, meeting new people, having friends, coworkers to work with, being able to work independently, the opportunity to travel, and so on. Work values are the reasons people give for why they work, can also contribute to job satisfaction. Job satisfaction is different for everyone. If someone does work he or she is interested in and is good at, that person tends to be more satisfied with his or her job. People really do better work when they are interested in what they are doing. Sometimes interest matters more than the actual ability. Everybody needs to know what he or she can do well and what he or she wants to do well. So think about, can you fix a car, ride a horse, good with numbers or machinery, and so on? And are you even interested in doing any of these? It is important to be able to think of careers tying in your abilities and interest. You may have the ability to work with computers, but you're not interested in doing that. So you will not be satisfied if you have a job working on computers where it's not meeting your other interest. Vice versa. If you're interested in becoming a musician and you play the guitar, but you don't have the ability to do it well, that career is probably not going to be a good fit for you either. With abilities, there are different ways that you can identify what your abilities are. Everyone has special abilities, and no two people in the world have the exact same strengths and weaknesses in their personal abilities. If you don't know what your abilities are, these are some ways that you can find out. One is to take an aptitude test. I would highly suggest taking the Job Fit survey. The next one is to make a list on your own of things that you do well and a list of what other people have said you do well. And that's what we're going to do today in our packet. So on the second page, you'll see it's labeled positive abilities. On the left-hand column, I want you to put down things that you feel are your special strengths, skills, positive abilities, or things that you do well. And they give some examples on that worksheet. On the right-hand column, I would like you to put down special strengths, positive abilities, skills, or other things that other people say that you do well. For example, you may think you're a great cook and other people compliment you all the time on how good your food is. You think you're well at fixing mechanical issues with vehicles, and you have other people asking you to change their oil, fix their tires, etc. There's different types of abilities, as you can see from the slide that's in front of you. Verbal ability, numbers, mechanical, manual, clerical, musical, or artistic. Each one of us is a little bit more comfortable with each of these abilities than others. Again, it's important to identify what you are naturally able to do. Other abilities might include the ability to persuade, be persistent, work under pressure, plan. So what I want you to do then is identify those positive abilities and strengths that you have. Some examples are for the ones that other people say you do well. My friend thinks I'm a good listener. My kids say I'm an awesome dad. Everyone is jealous of my garden. I'm always complimented on my style. And my family teases me for being so organized. Whenever you do a positive, we all have weaknesses. We are not perfect. So there are other things that we needed to identify where we're not so good. What do you think are some of the things that you do not do well? For example, you may not speak well in public. Math might not be your strongest suit. What are some things that other people have said that you do not do well? I'm a terrible cook. I can't type to save my life. I don't know how to swim. What I would like you to do is to identify some of your negative abilities that you feel are your weaknesses and what other people have told you are your weaknesses. The next page is identifying your positive interest. What I would like you to do here is identify jobs that you have liked. For example, you may have liked a secretary job and working at McDonald's. In the space to the right of that, you will answer the question, I like them because, and you want to make sure you're specific. I liked working as a secretary because I liked working with office supplies. I liked working at McDonald's because I enjoyed working with the public. If you've had one job, obviously fill out that one job. If you've had more than one job, try to fill out each blank, so using separate jobs. And there's 5 jobs spaces that you could fill out. The next one is leisure or hobby activities. I want you to identify things that you enjoy to do in your spare time, and then tell me why you like them. So, for example, a person might say, I like babysitting. They like it because I'm good with kids. I like sewing because I have a sense of accomplishment when I finish a project. The third one is listing jobs that others have that seem interesting to you. And why do they seem interesting to you? It seems interesting to me to be a nurse because they get to help people. It seems interesting to me to be a computer tech because they get to diagnose and work with computers and tear them apart and put them together. Seems interesting to me to be a teacher because they get summers off and weekends. With the next one, as with when you're identifying positives, I would like you to identify the negatives as well. We have all had jobs where there's pros and cons of each job. So you can use the same job that you identified why you liked it. I liked working as a secretary because I enjoyed working with office supplies. I did not like working as a secretary because I had to deal with disgruntled customers. So identify reasons why you didn't like particular jobs, as well as leisure or hobby activities. What have been things that you have tried or won't try, and why? I do not like winter outdoor activities because I do not like to be cold, so I could not be a skier or a snowmobiler. The last one, I would like you to think of some jobs that other people have which turn you off. You never want to belittle anyone else's employment or look down upon it. But there are occupations out there that just aren't a good fit for you, and just tell us why that is. I personally would not enjoy being a garbage man. My stomach is very uneasy, and it would probably make me sick. I don't like to work outside in extreme heat or cold, so I would not enjoy an occupation where you had to be outside. So think of jobs that turn you off and identify why they turn you off. It is important to be able to identify, like I said earlier, your interests and abilities. When you find an occupation where you're interested and you have the ability to do it, is going to lead to more of that job satisfaction. You may be asking yourself, why are we thinking of hobby activities that we like? How does that matter? Well, sometimes you can turn your hobby activity into something that can be financially supportive for you. I know people that enjoy artistry and pottery, and then they open a small business. They turn that into something that can be employment for them. So it is important to identify even interests or hobbies. We have a lot of people that hunt and fish, and that is their hobby. They enjoy doing it, and then they have found a way to make that be their living as well. The next part is identifying your personality mosaic. This is from John Holland. He's a psychologist specializing in careers, and he has organized careers, feels that they fall into 6 different occupational categories, being realistic, conventional, enterprising, social, artistic, and investigative. Most of us have interests that fit with at least one of these categories. The descriptions that follow are based on the occupational classification system. I would like you to take time to read each of the following slides. Read the code letter that you are. So, for example, if you are realistic, artistic, and social, please make sure you read the realistic, social, and artistic slides on this presentation. Being realistic, conventional, enterprising, social, artistic, and investigative. In order to assess where you fit into his classification, the personality mosaic was developed. There are 1 through 90 statements. There are directions in your packet. I would like you to carefully read each statement. Circle the number of statements that clearly feel like something you might say, do, or think. Something that feels like you. All of us generally have at least 1 or 2 in each of the interest codes, but usually we have 2 to 3 that are more dominant than the others. Once you are complete with the 90 statements, there is a scoring sheet. On this scoring sheet, whatever number you circled in 1 through 90, you will find it on the score sheet and circle it again. For example, if you circled number 1, you would find it under the R and circle 1. If you circled number 4 and circle it under the S, and so on. When you're finished doing all 90, you will go in each column. So under R, you will count the number of circles that you have. So if you have 5 numbers circled, you would write 5 on the line next to the R near the bottom. For the next column I, if you have 1 circled, you'd write 1 next to the I. Artistic, you have 10 circled, you'd write 10 by the A, and so on. From that, I would like you to list your 3 highest scored letters in the first, second, and third blanks. This is coming up with your Holland code. The last part I would like to talk to you about is networking. Networking is the most effective method of gaining employment. You are taking the initiative to contact people in your field of interest rather than waiting for the employer to announce job vacancies. A lot of times jobs aren't even posted externally, they're done internally, so it's again important to have a broad range of network contacts. When you are on the web, a lot of you may have a Facebook page, MySpace, Twitter. You want to make sure you maintain a professional image. Your potential employer may have access to your online profile, so you want to make sure you're being respectful and professional at all times. These are also great ways to network with individuals as far as if you're looking for employment. Use those contacts as well. So take a minute and think about who you know. Again, all the people they know and all the people they know. This slide is showing you some examples of who could be in your network if you're having a hard time thinking of networking contacts. Basically, you are networking with everyone you talk to and come in contact with. Top 10 ways to network. When you meet or see someone doing something you think you would like to do, strike up a conversation with that person. Most people would be glad to talk to you about their job if they can. Then ask questions about how they got their job. 9. Wherever you go or whatever you do, be positive at all times. You never know who is watching. Pay attention because other people are. 8. Ask your friends, family, and other contacts how they got their jobs. Try to get specific information and directions from these people. 7. Put in applications or submit resumes to businesses that are doing what you would like to do, even if you don't have all of the qualifications or the position that is open. 6. Let your fingers do the walking. Use the phone to contact businesses, schools, or other training institutions for information. This is called cold calling. 5. Whatever you do, don't criticize anyone's occupation. You can't afford to alienate anyone who may have a career lead for you. 4. Check the Michigan Talent Bank and every other employment website. Email headhunters and others on those sites. They may not be looking for you, so you want to strike up an email exchange and gather as much information from them as possible. 3, keep in contact with your career manager and any other staff you may have met. The squeaky wheel syndrome. New information comes in all the time. Follow up on any leads that they have provided. 2, check in with the resource room staff. They are closely linked to the employers using the talent bank and other requests that come in on a regular basis. Again, you want to follow up on any leads they provide. Number 1 way to network is to volunteer. Most organizations have boards. Many CEOs and other movers and shakers are on these boards. When you show someone how valuable your talent is, they are bound to need you. Summing up, you are an investment. You have to be able to continually invest in yourself and make yourself as marketable and desirable as you can as a job seeker and employee. People have to constantly learn new skills and knowledge to compete in today's workforce. In order to do this successfully, it requires motivation and initiative on the job seeker employee's part. You have now completed watching the presentation. On your job search logs, in the results section, please put the name of the presentation and give yourself a half hour. Once you've completed presentations, you will need to go into the Service Center, ask to take the Employability Skills quiz. You will take the corresponding quiz that lines up with the presentation that you have just viewed. Once you have completed all 10 presentations and taken the corresponding quizzes, and also did the in-person information technology class, you will have earned your Employability Skills endorsement. Remember, this is an endorsement to your WorkKeys test, so you will want to make sure that you complete all 3 actual WorkKeys tests to get your whole National Career Readiness Certificate. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about these presentations or your hours, please see your career manager. Thank you.